OC Financial Media presents, in association with CHL Mortgage, as heard on KTLK AM1150, from LA to Orange County.
Your host, Dino Katsiametis.
It's about your real estate. It's about your money. From your estate to real estate, it's Money Matters with Dino.
Welcome back to Money Matters with Dino on K-Talk AM 1150. We're here every Saturday afternoon from 12 to 1, and we can be reached at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616, or you can check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. We have a new special little feature that's text messaging. If you want to find out the value of your home, just text the word appraisal and your address to 313131. That's text the word appraisal and your address to 313131. I'm going to have one of my trusted advisors get back to you within 24 hours with a true, accurate estimate of what your home is worth. All right, this next segment is brought to you by Reverse Mortgage Educators. These are the guys that are on the show here right now, and Rob and Ryan from Reverse Mortgage Educators have a lot to teach us about, because reverse mortgages, unfortunately, have developed a bad reputation. But as I was explaining to somebody earlier today, it's not the reverse mortgage that created this. It's all of these other side, like portfolio Wall Street products that came out emulating these reverse mortgages and really having the stuff that was bad that everybody considers bad. And at the end of the day, these guys are going to show you how there's steps in line, I guess you can call it, that the government puts in that prevents anything from happening to you. I mean, these are made for you. They're made to help you in your twilight years. So they also put on a Senior Brunch Sunday, I think, right? .com, a seminar every Sunday, and it teaches you and educates you, which is what I love best about these guys, is they're educators. And guys, we're going to talk about the seminar a little bit later on, but again, this segment brought to you by Reverse Mortgage Educators, and they can be reached directly at 800-2190. That's 800-2190, or you can look them up at SeniorSundayBrunch.com. All right, guys, let's get into the show here, into the questions that you guys are going to be answering. So before we get into all the new changes that are going on to the reverse mortgages, Rob, tell me a little bit about what a reverse mortgage is and you know how one would apply for one.
Well, first, reverse mortgage is an excellent product for seniors to tap into the equity they built up over the years to help subsidize their retirement years. So it's a great financial tool in that fact. There's some myths out there about it, like you said earlier. And unfortunately, those are out there. Just like you said, it came from a mimicking product, so to speak. Mm-hmm. But
because this is a government-sponsored product, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, it's backed and protected, and there's all sorts of guidelines in place that prevent people from losing their house. I mean, it's set up to help them, not hurt them.
Absolutely, that's absolutely correct.
Okay, so Noelle, tell me a little bit about you. You said you're an SRES specialist. And I had never heard of that. It's what is this? Senior real estate. How does it? What are the?
It's a special certification. I got it in 2006, and I've just continued to network and learn more about the industry because it's constantly changing and evolving.
And you specialize specifically with seniors, right?
Yes, I do.
What? Tell me about that. I mean, how do you?
Each senior has their own unique needs. So I sit down and I try and get them to think the long term. Sit down with their family and ask them and tell them what their wishes are. So when they get to that point where they might not be able to communicate with them, they already have something in place.
Now, how did you get to this place? Like, you know, most people would probably not want to go that route. And no offense if you're a senior and you're listening, but you know, you take a little longer to make decisions. You're typically a little cheaper than some of the younger people. I would imagine, and no offense again, but I would imagine that takes a lot more patience on your part. And one might say, hey, that's not where all the money is. So there's got to be some sort of a passion there for you.
Yes, and I spend a lot of time with my clients. It doesn't usually happen overnight. It can be months, years. I've gone out multiple times, even taking to different areas to research. So I know it's just something they don't move quickly on.
Okay, great. Well, and tell me about the trends. What's going on in the senior communities right now?
It depends on each person's unique needs. If they need assisted living, then that's a market we go research. If they want to live independently because they're still an active adult, there's different markets to research on that in communities. So it just depends what state of mind they're in. Mm-hmm. But things can happen and change rather quickly. Their health can. So it's good to always have something planned out for the long term, maybe in several steps.
Sure. So in the old days, one would buy a house, get a 30-year fix, and stay in there forever. They'd eventually die, give it to the kids, and who knows what would happen after that. Is that trend still happening, or are old people starting to and am I saying this? Are old people? Am I politically correct by just calling them old, or is there a nicer word?
You could just say the elder population.
The elder population. Are they starting to downsize and make changes, or are they sticking to what has always been the consistence?
Well, some of them are in denial. Well, and others try and think ahead and will call and just want to know some ideas and answers or who to talk to. They don't always necessarily call me about real estate, but just how to connect the dots to get to where they want to go. So by having good senior resources, that helps them. It's not always just about selling the house. It's about putting them in contact with the right people to get them where they want to go.
Great. If you just jumped in your car, you're listening to Money Matters with Dino on KTalk AM1150. And normally I give out my phone number, but I'm not the specialist in reverse mortgages. But these guys, Rob and Ryan from Reverse Mortgage Educators, are waiting by the phone. They have people waiting that specifically have been educated to deal with situations for the elderly. Their phone number is 800-2190. That's 800-2190. And my panel here also has a website called Senior Sunday Brunch. That's www.seniorSundayBrunch.com, where they hold seminars once a month in order to help educate the elderly and show them what their options truly are. Ryan, when a senior decides to stay in their home or move, how does a reverse mortgage help them?
Well, nowadays, and since 2009, Congress passed a rule that really broadened the brush that reverse mortgages can use with seniors. Before, it was only a refinance product to help them keep in their home. Now it's also a purchase product, so they can sell that home if they want to relocate closer to family or friends, or maybe downsize the home. So that's a two-part question. So the first part is if a senior decides to stay in their home, which a lot of seniors want to age in place these days. And so what the reverse does is help them with the increasing costs of health care or maintenance on the home, because what we have found is a lot of seniors with the Social Security and some with even a pension, that gives them just enough to live, maybe just enough to pay the mortgage and eat. But beyond that, it seems like their quality of life really suffers. So when they want to stay and age in place and keep that family home maybe they've had for 20 or 30 years, that's where the reverse mortgage really helps keep their quality of life, and also for those surprise bills. And we know how those bills come sometimes, and you didn't expect them to come. They can keep the house maintained. They can keep their money going out to the grandkids and the kids. And it's truly amazing when you sit down with somebody who has gotten a reverse mortgage. And I can only say that after sitting down with so many couples, it's truly amazing what a difference it makes in their life. Now, moving on to the second part is when a senior decides, well, maybe this house is too big now, or the grandkids and everybody else are across the other side of town or in a different, wherever it may be, and they, that's part of the best part about growing older is the kids can go home at the end of the day, right? But you still want to be close to them, so. If they decide they want to sell and move, we can help them with that now. And that's also where Noelle helps us too, is that she can help them figure out how to sell the home, what's the home worth, and then purchase a new home, and when they purchase a new home, they don't have to really worry about qualifying for a normal mortgage like they would. A reverse mortgage can be done right away, which will then put them in the home and be less, the qualifications are easier. There's less in terms of income or credit scores and that type of thing. So that's where the reverse mortgage also helps in the relocation.
So you're saying somebody can go out and buy a house, put down a certain amount of money, just like a regular down payment, but then instead of having payments like a normal mortgage, they will have no more payments until their last day.
That's correct. So from day one, when they move into the home and they use a reverse mortgage, there is no monthly payment. So they're using their down payment just like they would put a down payment on another home. The down payment may be a little different with the reverse. They put their down payment, they move in, no mortgage payment, monthly mortgage payment from day one, and from there on out. Beautiful, beautiful thing. And what a great way to move into a house with no mortgage payment.
No mortgage payment. I would imagine their quality of life just completely changes.
Like you guys had talked about before, you really begin to realize the power of these reverse mortgages after you've talked to people that have done them. And I'm a part of the founder of this company, and I was a skeptic years and years ago because I just did regular loans and real estate. And once I really started learning the business and helping people with reverses, I can't tell you what a great feeling it is to put these loans into place. It's incredible. It really is.
Yeah, I would imagine it's really rewarding on your end versus other guys in the loan business probably don't have the same kind of reward you guys have, because you guys are actually changing lives, not just getting somebody a loan. You're really helping them. Do you have grandmothers coming over and
I've done
your
loans,
little cheeks and saying thank you?
Yeah, I've done loans for my own family members, which is one thing, which is great because I get to see those results over and over again. But I was at a client's house yesterday, and she was just so excited and so thankful. I walked out with egg rolls and dipping sauce, and I get fed constantly. And that's obviously that stuff is priceless. It really is.
Well, the best part is we have no shortage of grandparents anymore.
That's great. I love it. Well, you're listening to Money Matters with Dino on KTalk AM1150. If you have any questions at all about anything you hear here today, call me at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616, or check us out online at moneymatterswithdino.com. And don't forget, we also have our new appraisal texting. Phil, you got to give me something. What do I call this thing?
Well, that's a good question. It's for appraisals that are way, way, way better than something you're going to find online. And here's the thing, and I can tell you everybody this just because I'm selling my place. Knowing beforehand, before you get into everything, knowing what you might be able to sell for is absolutely invaluable, because then you know how much you should put into construction before you go. You can start talking to realtors with an education. It is absolutely valuable.
So we got to come up with a catchy name for it, though, so I don't have to stumble over my words.
I'm not that good on the fly like that.
All right, well, we're working on it. Hopefully next week we'll have something catchy. But here, basically, pull out your cell phone, of course, after you pull over if you're driving. Text the word appraisal and your address to 313131. We'll get that information, and we'll have one of my trusted advisors look it all up and get it within the next 24 hours. We'll be right back.
50 years ago, you didn't have any worries. You danced the night away. But the music slowed down. And now you have financial worries and woes you never thought you would be faced with in retirement.
I'm so afraid that my husband and I aren't going to be able to afford to live in our home.
Thousands of people have chosen to put a spring in their financial step by taking advantage of a government-insured reverse mortgage loan that turns the equity in your home into tax-free cash. You can use the cash for whatever you want. Pay off medical bills, credit cards, travel, and start to enjoy your retirement. Best of all, you still own your own home. Call now. Find out how you can qualify for a life without monthly mortgage payments. Call now, and we will send you a free DVD that will explain if a reverse mortgage is right for you. Call the number on your screen right now. No obligation, just education.
Mortgage professionals, are you looking for a company that values you as a loan officer? One that can provide you with the tools you need to grow your business at your pace? Then look no further than CHL Mortgage. CHL Mortgage provides you with a full range of residential loan products and services. You'll be backed by an exceptionally trained team of professionals that can take your clients as seriously as you do. Your clients will be treated with dedicated service, personal integrity, and exceptional professionalism. You'll be able to guide them in the right loan with competitive rates and keep them on the road to achieving life's goals. To get started on advancing your career, call Dino with CHL Mortgage at 949-720-1616. That's CHL Mortgage, 949-720-1616.
Welcome back to Money Matters with Dino on K-Talk AM 1150. We can be heard every Saturday afternoon from 12 to 1. And if you'd like to reach us for anything at all, just call us up at 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616, or look us up online at moneymatterswithdino.com. I want to remind everybody that we have our new appraisal feature. If you'd like to know the value of your home, your current true value, not a Zestimate or online thing that really doesn't have true accuracy, we will help you out. Just write this number down. It's 313131. That's our texting number. All you have to do is text the word appraisal and your address to 313131, and I'll have one of my trusted advisors get back to you within 24 hours with the true, accurate estimate of your home. So this next segment is brought to you by Citywide Home Loans, and they're great. Rates are great. Pricing's great. Service is great, but I want to get across that it's not about advertising the lowest rates and all this other stuff that you hear all over the news all the time or the billboards. It's about finding, if you need a loan, right? It's about finding a mortgage company that you can trust, a mortgage company that'll look out for your best benefit, not their own. I know that's hard to do, but here at Citywide Home Loans, that's what we are like. Our loan officers here truly take some time. They get to know about your personal situation, and they do what is best for you. So if you have any mortgage needs, contact us at 949-720-1616. All right, so we're talking about reverse mortgages, and the topic of our show today is big changes with reverse mortgages. So during break, I had called the seniors. I called them elderly and old, for that matter. I said all sorts of stuff because I didn't know what to call you, and I just so happen to have a few seniors here in the audience, and said that you probably shouldn't call them elderly. And in fact, she specifically said, I don't like to be called elderly. So I am sorry if I offended anybody else out there. I think I'm just going to call you seniors from now on. So anyways, I'm just having a little bit of fun there. What the heck? I'm going to tell a quick little story. I know we don't have time, but my dad, who's now 77, his thing is McDonald's. He loves McDonald's breakfast sandwiches. And I took him there for breakfast a couple of weeks ago. And he loves the senior coffee. I don't know how much it costs, but it's like under $1, I think. And so we go there, and keep in mind, he's 77 years old, and he's great. He looks great, but he looks like he's a senior. And he goes, I'll take a senior's coffee. And then he pauses and makes sure, he goes back and says, a senior's, like, don't worry, Dad, they're going to give you the discount. It's great. Anyways, my little senior story there. So we're going to get back to what really matters here, these questions. Ryan, tell me a little bit about the education that you guys not only provide, but are also required to give to anybody that's looking to get a reverse mortgage.
In order to start even the application process on a reverse mortgage, you have to go through a third-party counseling that's approved by HUD, which is the Housing Urban Development, which is the government portion of this loan. And it's done by a third party, and you do a phone session counseling with them, and they go over the loan with you. They actually go over your individual situation as well, so that they can make sure that you have an understanding of how it works. Because if you go to a lender to get a loan, they're going to tell you about everything is great, and they're going to paint a great picture for you, but they might leave out some details that are important. So that's why they require this third-party counseling. And I love to throw facts and figures out there, so I try to hold myself back. But the real numbers are we have 10,000 seniors hitting 65 every day. And so because of that, there's a large there's a large amount of people who are going to be looking at these loans, and so the government decided that they can't rely on loan officers and lenders to make sure all the facts are getting out there, so they put this in place. And that way they know that every single person that applies for a reverse mortgage is going to get the facts, and they're going to get it from a third party. And we appreciate that, being educators, because we insist, of course, not only because they require it, but we insist that our clients understand how the loan works. And if they don't, then we stop and we start at the beginning again, because this is your home. Most would consider it your biggest asset. So when you're dealing with your biggest asset, you got to have all the facts and make sure that you're making the right decisions.
See, I love that, because being in the loan business, we're required by law to give out disclosures and all sorts of documentation to show what we're doing. But I got to be honest with you, it's so dang confusing. Anytime you throw 100+ pages in front of somebody, there's no way they're going to read it. I think what they've done for the reverse mortgages is probably the best thing you can do. Is you actually have to talk to somebody else that's not making a commission on you, and be able to ask them questions, and they can in turn around and tell you exactly what you're getting. And it's independent third party. I think it's absolutely wonderful that they're doing that. So, this isn't the kind of show that all we do is talk about, just nothing but good stuff, right? I want to find out if there's anything bad. There's why do we have so many negative connotations about reverse mortgages? Are there any red flags that the seniors need to look for? Are they being taken advantage of?
Well, yeah, there's some red flags out there. You may get the occasional son or grandchild who may take advantage of an incompetent senior. Maybe they have dementia or something like that. So there's definitely safeguards in place. For instance, the counseling session and all that stuff that will help out identifying these early red flags, and we do our best too to try to find those as well. It's very important. I want to make sure that the end person getting this loan obviously knows about how it works, and that it's probably their best option for whatever their particular situation is, but that they understand all these things that are out there and they're not getting taken advantage of. And we'd like to be that buffer, so to speak.
That's great. Rob, tell me about husband and wife. I know they both have to be 62 years old or older to be on it. But is there anything there that prevents, whether it's the husband or the wife, being on title? Is there something that could prevent that?
Well, if one of the spouses is under 62, that gets into what's called a non-borrowing spouse situation. There are some rare instances where that could be advisable. But typically in this industry, it's not advisable, because if one of the spouses is not on the loan with the other, then if that spouse were to happen to meet their demise, then the loan becomes due and payable, or an accelerated payoff is generated. So now the other spouse that's not on the loan could be forced with the situation to react on a loan balance that needs to be paid off. So it's not advisable in most cases, but there are some situations out there where it is probably makes sense.
Okay. Noelle, you're the senior expert in the real estate community. What happens when a senior can't afford to stay in their home and they don't have enough equity to purchase a smaller home?
Well, fortunately, most seniors have prepared for retirement, but every once in a while I do run into someone, and I'm actually being asked more about house sharing these days. And I do think it could be a trend of the future, and that's really when a reverse mortgage would come in handy.
Are there any challenges that seniors are facing now with the needs of relocating or down? What's happening in their community? What are the challenges they're facing?
It's a monumental task, downsizing a home and getting rid of a lifetime of memories. So part of that process is to work with an estate sale planners and deciding what you're going to take, what you're going to give away, and what's going to fit in your new location.
So you guys have a seminar that you do once a month. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, starting in 2014, every month, one Sunday a month, we will be hosting our seminars from 11 to 1 in different communities in Orange County, assisted living communities, senior apartments, and the word is just to get out and educate everyone, children as well as seniors, on their options and connect them to the right resources of what they need to do and where they want to go.
And in the seminar, tell me a little bit more about it. Is it going to be, I know the reverse mortgage educators will be there, and I think you're going to have an estate planning attorney there as well. Is that right?
Yes, Robin Bentler.
So it's really going to be an overall, look at retiring and moving forward to make sure they're going to be comfortable and taken care of.
Yes, and it will be a free brunch as well as a packet of information to walk away with. So if they don't need the resources just this very minute, they can come back to it. We'll have raffles and giveaways. And just tour the facilities, get to know. That's one thing I've discovered is the younger generations have no idea how much these communities run per month per person. So I'm finding too the younger generations haven't prepared for retirement well enough. So they should be coming in to find out more themselves as well.
And now that doesn't start until 2014, you said though, right?
Well, we do have one on October 15th from 10 to 11 at Meridian Gardens in Anaheim. We will have one this year, but starting in 2014, it's going to be one a month.
But if you're listening right now and you want some more information on that and you want to go through basically what the seminar is going to teach you, but you don't want to wait or you can't make it to the one coming up in October, you guys will go visit them and actually take care of a one-on-one consultation with them as well, right?
Absolutely.
So give us the phone number for that. That's, I believe, 800-800-2190. If you'd like more information on that, that's 800-800-2190. Or you can even look them up at seniorSundayBrunch.com. That's www.seniorSundayBrunch.com. Okay, Ryan, let's move on. Let's see. Can you use the funds from a reverse mortgage to buy a second home or even an investment property?
That's a good question. Now, you can't use the reverse mortgage as a purchase loan to buy an investment property or second home. But what some seniors are starting to do is do the reverse mortgage on their primary residence. And then if they have enough cash available after paying off the mortgage on that first home, then they can use that to help fund the purchase of an investment property or second home. And the thing that we found that can be really cool about that is you're taking a situation where you had a mortgage, you had your primary residence. Now you're taking your mortgage, paying it off, you're using it to buy another property, and you can use that as your second home, and you can also derive an income from that second property. So you've gotten rid of your mortgage payment on your primary residence, you now have a vacation home and an income property. So under the right circumstances, it could be really cool. That's a little advanced, and we love to sit down and talk to people about that, but boy, it could be really cool and really really fun.
I love it. I think it's a brilliant investment idea. I mean, you're not paying a mortgage on the reverse mortgage that you're now taking out, and you have all this extra cash, and instead of just sitting on it, why don't you go invest in it and then actually bring an income in from it? And for those of you that are worried about eating up equity that your kids won't get, for example, well, if you think about it this way, you're now investing in another home that is appreciating. You'll have even more to give, not only your kids but your grandkids. I think it's a really great way to go. But like you said, it's a little more advanced. Should be done with a lot of careful consideration, talking to all the right people, not just being educated on it, but also putting a plan in place with a good asset type of an attorney and financial planner, somebody that knows this field. If you like, we can put you in touch with those people, or the guys at Reverse Mortgage Educators can. Rob, let's talk about home equity loans. So why would somebody what's the difference, I guess, of a reverse mortgage and a home equity loan?
Great question. The biggest part about it is that, first of all, a regular home equity loan, your traditional HELOC, as they call it, has a payment on it, to where a reverse mortgage line of credit does not. That's your biggest thing right there. Secondly, with a reverse mortgage line of credit, it actually has what's called a growth rate. So on the unused portion of your funds, that will actually grow in accessible funds for the future, for cost of living expenses and these types of economic challenges. The third part about it is that traditional lines of credit have a clause in the note that says that a lender can freeze your line for whatever reason they choose. Could be a declining value market, which they would then opt to freeze the line of credit where you could not draw from it anymore. A line of credit with a reverse mortgage is guaranteed funds. That's exactly what the FHA insurance policy is guaranteeing, that your funds are available to you for the rest of your life.
Well, I'll tell you what, that makes a lot of sense to me, and I'm sure if you were to call these guys, they could probably break it down even more so for you. The topic of our show today is big changes with reverse mortgages, and we have yet to start talking about the changes coming up, but I know that starting January 1st, actually even October 1st, there's a couple of changes, but starting January, there's going to be significant changes. So these guys are going to be here talking about it right after this commercial. In the meantime, if you're in the car, don't start dialing or texting right now, but pick up a pen, write this number down, 949-720-1616. That's 949-720-1616. You can talk to me directly, or I can put you in touch with any of these experts I have on the show today. You can also look us up at moneymatterswithdino.com. We'll be right back after the break.